It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news. This is the Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors.
Hey everybody, welcome into the show. Have I mentioned to you recently how much I love to fish in the state of Oklahoma? If you've been watching our show over recent weeks and months, you've seen us at places like Arbuckle Lake, the McClellan-Kern Navigation Channel, Lake Tenkiller, Okmulgee, Dripping Springs, and several other places around the Sooner State. Well, today we are on the road again. I'd like to welcome you into beautiful Fort Gibson Lake, which is located just east of Wagoner, Oklahoma. It is a tremendous fishery for white bass, largemouth bass, catfish, and crappie. And on today's show, we're going to experiment around, may try to catch more than one of those species, but we're going to start out fishing for crappie. And while I'm out there doing that, we're taking you around the region for your very latest fishing reports from our team of reporters, including Brian Hughes with Texas Freshwater, Bill Olson down on the Texas Gulf Coast, Cajun Phil and Kevin in Louisiana, and Gary Dallahan in Oklahoma. Also this week on the Lawrence Hot Lake of the Week, I'm going to show you one of the hottest summertime spots along the Texas Gulf Coast for great speckled trout fishing action. On the Big Catch of the Week, we're going to show you a couple of nice stripers from Lake Livingston. We'll have the Ask the Pro, the Academy Right Stuff feature with all the equipment you'll need to catch fish here at Fort Gibson, and much more in the next half hour. So right now, the Nitro Z8, powered by my big Mercury Optimax Pro XS, goes right down that boat ramp into Fort Gibson. We'll be fishing for crappie as soon as we come back. But first, back to the FSN studios we go for your Chevy Weekend Planner.
Let's take a look at the Solunar tables to help plan for your fishing trip this weekend. Peak times will start at roughly 5 in the morning and again at 5 in the afternoon. Expect the sun to rise at 6:35 a.m. and set at 8:32 p.m. And we'll have a crescent moon 36% visible. Also, there's a Kid Fish event taking place Saturday morning in Greenville, Texas. Kids will have the chance to win prizes and catch fish like 9-year-old Presley from Friendswood, Texas, who won the grand prize at this year's Hooked on Chevy Kidfish Classic in Corpus Christi by catching a 31.5-inch redfish. Visit the website for more details. Stay with us, we've got fishing updates from around the entire region, and I'll be back with your Ask the Pro question a little bit later. Have a great weekend, everybody.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors. Buy quality award-winning Tracker boats. Fish the finest. Lawrence, maker of the HDS high-definition systems, and Academy, right stuff, low price, every day.
There we go. Decent crappie right there. All right, that's a good way to get it started right there. Up he comes. All right, folks, welcome back. We're at Fort Gibson Lake, located just outside Wagoner, Oklahoma. I mentioned it's a great lake for several different species of fish, and there's just a good solid keeper crappie to get it started. Fishing a marker buoy right behind us that you saw me casting at. And George Foster, who lives in this area, fishes some bass tournaments, fishes for crappie for fun, put us a marker buoy out on a piece of cover there. And that crappie bit it. I'm going to keep crappie today, so I'll stick it in the live well. One of the interesting things about Fort Gibson is that the crappie will stay shallow pretty much all summer long. Now, the water temperature here is about 82 degrees at the surface. Of course, it's been hot already this season. That marker buoy is marking a laydown log. George put it right on a log in about 5 feet of water, and these fish will relate to any cover you can find. Use your sonar. I used my structure scan by Lawrence, and just driving up and down these shorelines, and any little piece of brush, cover, timber, standing tree off the bottom, anything like that will hold crappie right through the hot summertime months. They don't all go real deep. That fish was only in about 5 feet of water. Now, that fish did bite a Bobby Garland baby shad, and I've got it on a Mo Glow head, and it's only a 1/16 ounce size, And those fish, again, that's a deadly crappie bait, and those fish will bite it all summer long. Let's check in with our first regional fishing report, and let's go to Louisiana. Here's Cajun Phil and Kevin.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with your Fox Sports Outdoor Report, the saltwater edition for Louisiana. I tell you what, I caught a limited trout, some nice redfish today. One of our other boats just came in. He had a great day on the water. Let's talk to him and see what he had to say about today.
As you can tell, we had a great day. There's 60 trout in the box by 9 o'clock, all live shrimp. Hit some big schools of reds out in the middle of the lake on birds. Caught all the reds on plastics, just chasing them around. It was a good day overall.
Well, I told you, friends, they've been slaughtering the speckled trout and redfish here on Gibson Lake now for weeks and weeks and weeks. I've been telling you that. Captain Kevin and all the guys here at Hackberry Charge, they've been coming in with limits of speckled trout. That's 60 for a 4-man limit here in Louisiana. And they've been coming in with their 20 reds each and every day. As far as the bass fishing goes, it's crazy right now. Chris Calloway down in Venice, Louisiana. Venice, okay? That's down there where they catch the big old tuna and stuff. Chris called and said, Cajun, you want to come down here? I can get you a limit of redfish and a limit of bass each and every day. He said the bass are thick. He said, I bring clients out trying to catch redfish. He said, we got to go through 10 or 12 bass before we catch a good redfish. O.T. Ferris is down there. O.T. gave me a call. He said, Cajun, come down. He said, it's crazy. He said, I can give you 100 bass or 100 redfish every day. Over at Lafitte, Louisiana. It's not down in Venice only. Over at Lafitte, Louisiana, Schofield Bourgeois called. He said, every day they go out, they get limits of redfish, but yeah, they get 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 bass each and every day, throwing the same lures. He said, if you go to Lake Salvador, he said, you'll limit out with bass and redfish, throwing spinnerbait or plastics, whatever you want to throw.
There we go. There's a good crappie. That's a lipper right there. All right, there's a good slab right there. All right, well, this one, as you can see right behind me, that's a big old Fort Gibson special right there. See this rock bluff behind us? What you always want to do is look for anything that might have blown or fallen off of these rock bluffs. Any kind of a cedar tree, a log, a bush. A lot of times that stuff will break off, fall down in the water, and those become magnets for crappie, and you can catch a big slab like that one. That one is going in the live well, and we're coming back to Fort Gibson in just a couple of minutes. We'll have Brian Hughes next up with your Texas Fishing and Lake Reports. A lot more to come. Stay with us from Oklahoma.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Abu Garcia for life. By NAVIONICS. Enjoy NAVIONICS anytime, anywhere. By Whataburger. Just like you like it. And by MotorGuide Trolling Motors.
There's something up. There's a bass right there. All right, here is second species. Not big, but there's your Fort Gibson largemouth. Hi everybody, welcome back to the show. We are just outside Wagoner, Oklahoma today at Fort Gibson. That fish hit the hardhead biffle bug, slow rolling it. If you watched our show a few weeks ago over at Lake Tenkiller, not too far from here, about an hour east of here, you saw us catching a lot of bass on that lure right there. That's that jalapeno pepper colored Jean LaRue biffle bug, largemouth. We'll let him go back. All right. As you can see, I'm fishing way offshore. The bank is probably 500 yards or so back behind us, fishing underwater rock piles out here. Little humps and ridges that come up off the bottom. You can find those on your NAVIONICS Hot Maps Platinum chart. Just driving around looking, using your sonar, you can find these areas where you can catch some bass. Let's check in next with your Lone Star Lakes Texas Fishing Report.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by the ultimate summer boat and outdoor show. Now, starting on Cooper Lake this week, hybrids are going nuts, but be careful. If you get into the sandies, you need to make sure you can distinguish a sand bass from a hybrid striped bass. Now, you want to use jigging spoons, and that will catch both of these species. The fish on top are generally the smaller ones. Get it down a little deeper, make a long cast, let it sink, then retrieve it through the school and you'll catch the bigger hybrids. On Tawakoni, catfish are off the chart. Look for the timbered points and dips around the channels and you'll find good catfishing. You want to use either your prepared baits or your artificial baits for your catfish on Tawakoni. And finally, bass. I know, Fayette County, right? Power plant. Who would fish there in the heat of the summer? Well, I would, because I'm going to fish the deep humps with either drop shot, Carolina rig, or deep diving crankbait. These are really catching them on Fayette County now. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by the ultimate summer boat and outdoor show. Let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island. Surrounded by pristine bays, estuaries, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico, Port A is truly the fishing capital of Texas. Come fish, golf, and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit the website on the screen. Well, a variety of summertime patterns are in play along the Texas coast. On Sabine Lake, the brown shrimp are once again on the move. Birds are working over the bait with some really nice quality speckled trout underneath. Use at least a 1/4 ounce jig head with a soft plastic or a popping cork with live shrimp. Now, Trinity and Galveston Bay shell pads around existing or old well locations continue to give up good trout. Carolina rigs or 1/4 or 3/8 ounce jig heads are catching fish. Croaker anglers are also catching fish around Galveston Bay's mid-bay reefs as well as the grass beds along the middle coast. The upper Laguna Madre has been a hot spot, so is Baffin Bay as well as the reefs in San Antonio Bay. Now, Long Bar on the lower Laguna Madre continues to be a go-to spot for quality trout. Good catches are also coming from the old causeway. Offshore, the recent deep sea roundup up in Port Aransas had a boat with a Texas slam. That's a blue marlin, white marlin, and sailfish. A few other boats also caught whites and sails. Some good catches of Dorado, kingfish, and ling have also been caught around anchored shrimp boats. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday have a single tide schedule of 1 high and 1 low tide each day. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
Something pretty decent bass. All right. Hey, we got them going at Fort Gibson today. Caught some crappie earlier, and now switched over to a biffle bug fishing offshore structure and catching some nice largemouths like that one. That's about a 2 1/4 pounder, something like that. Just a lot of fun to catch. Back he goes. I will tell you that if you're coming to Fort Gibson, you need to have 3 rods rigged and ready to go all the time. You need to have a light action spinning rig with a crappie bait on it ready to go, like the little garland bait I caught those crappie on earlier. Next, you need to have a bass rod or 2 ready to go, one with the crankbait, maybe a lipless rattling crankbait, and the other with a plastic bait like a biffle bug or a hoodaddy or a plastic worm. Thirdly, you need to have a rod with a jigging spoon on it that you can pitch around to schooling white bass, and maybe even a small prop bait like a topwater. We've seen several schools of white bass come up around us while we've been fishing today.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Academy. Right stuff, low price, every day. Nitro Performance Bass Boats. Fish your best in a Nitro. Costa Del Mar Sunglasses. See what's out there. And by Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors.
There's one, right below the boat. Oh, good pull. Be a big old white. Yeah, that's a big one. That's one of those blue fins right there. Come in here. All right, welcome back everybody. Your Southwest Outdoors Report. Touring today in the state of Oklahoma. And we've caught crappie, we've caught largemouth bass, and there is the trifecta. That's a big white bass, and when they get big enough on this lake, the locals call them blue fins. The fins start turning kind of a neon blue color. He's not, well, he's close. He's not quite there yet, but that's a nice white. Caught him on a spoon, jigging spoon, You can see right behind me, fishing one of the real community areas here. There's an underwater roadbed that runs just a little bit south of the main bridge that crosses the lake right here. And a lot of times during the summer, you can find schools of them, waves of them moving through in this area. All right, headed out next to our last of our main fishing reports this week. Here's Gary Dollahan.
I don't care if it is hot outside. You can catch a lot more fish this time of year if you're on the water than you are at home thinking about it. That's exactly what Bob and Donna Reed from Broken Arrow were doing this past week. I don't care if you're a sun worshiper or you want to be in the shade, but if you're on the water, you've got a chance to catch some fish a variety of different ways. What they were doing, they were drifting with fresh shad. They were concentrating on the flat that was next to the channel, blowing into a sandy bank. Bob said they would start about 13 feet deep. They would continue that drift all the way until they got about 3 feet deep. He said they caught fish that entire range, the 13 down to as shallow as 3 feet. They were using a basic sinker rig with that fresh shad hanging below it, using the wind to carry them into the bank and go back out again. He said they had a great day catching channel cat and blue cat up to about 10 pounds. By the time we caught up with them, they were cleaning fish. He said they had a good mess for today. They only had 3 fish left that they were cleaning at the time, and he's doing it the right way. They're catching the fish, they're putting them on ice right then they're cleaning those fish, putting those fillets on the ice before they head to the house. That's the best way to take care of your fish this time of year. One thing about it, you can't catch them if you don't go.
This week on your Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week, I've got a great speckled trout fishing hotspot for you down along the Texas Gulf Coast. It's the wellheads and platforms in Trinity Bay, just outside Houston, Texas. So let's locate it for you right now on the Lowrance HDS10 with the Insight shaded relief mapping. You can see Baytown in the middle part of your screen and I-10 running along the north side of the bay. The Trinity River enters the bay system here. We switch now to the NAVIONICS Hot Maps Platinum Plus saltwater chart for all the detail plus the satellite photo overlay. We zoom to the area just south of Baytown for an example of some of these wells. They're indicated by these symbols. Use your Lowrance structure scan to locate shell pads just off the floor. You can cast Carolina rigged live shrimp, croaker, or soft plastic to the edges of these pads and work them back toward the boat. Use a heavy weight, 1/2 to 1 ounce, to keep the bait down in the current. Now, the great news about this hotspot is that these speckled trout will not leave this area all summer long because of the protection from the platforms, and the water is deeper here, about 8 to 10 feet deep. It's a great summertime hotspot in Trinity Bay. That's this week's Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll have your Ask the Pro answer, your big catch of the week, and I'll have your Academy right stuff.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Stren, the standard of dependability, by Jean LaRue Lures and Bobby Garland Baits, quality soft plastic baits made in Oklahoma with American pride. Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors, and Mercury Marine.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time now for our Ask the Pro feature. Our question this week comes to us from Ray in Belton, Texas, who asks, what kind of plastic baits do you like best for night fishing in the summertime? For the answer, let's check with Russ Clark of the Professional Anglers Association.
Summertime on any lake, East Texas, particularly where I'm from, you're going to throw a darker color, larger profile bait. You want something that's ribbed that can move the water. The more ribs, the more waves on your plastic baits, your sweet beavers, your little ribs on your gambler toads. Those fish move water, or those baits rather, move water. And as water moves, it moves down the lateral line of the fish, and it helps them detect that bait that much quicker and that much faster, and as slow as you possibly can. Stay with a darker color, stay with your natural color.
Thanks, Russ. If you have a question for one of the pros, just visit our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com, click on the Ask the Pro link, and send us your information. Now let's get you back to Barry for our Whataburger Big Catch of the Week.
Congratulations this week for the Big Catch of the Week photo contest goes to Simon Cosper of Trinity, Texas. He is shown here with 2 nice striped bass, a 4-pounder and a 6-pounder, that he caught at Lake Livingston, which is one of the hottest striped bass fisheries this summer. If you'd like to enter our photo contest, go to the website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com. Top right-hand corner is where you log in. If you're not a member, you'll need to become one. It's free. Once you do, you'll have access to the members only area where you'll get my blog, my favorites page, the Ask the Pro question, and a place to enter your big catch of the week photo. Hey, don't forget our show will be on next Thursday night. You'll need to check our website right on the front page for the latest information for this week's showtime in case there are any conflicts with any of the baseball games or live event programs on Fox Sports Southwest. Also on the front page is where you can click to watch last week's episode. It's up 24/7 each week for the entire following week. You can also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com and search for Southwest Outdoors Report with Barry Stokes, and watch for all of our archived past episodes from the entire season at our YouTube channel. You can find it also on the front page of our website. Time now for the Academy Right Stuff feature. We show you the equipment you'll need here at Fort Gibson. First of all, on the bottom, you'll need a light action spinning rod and reel with fairly light line, 6 8-pound test on a little Bobby Garland jig to catch the crappie. Then to catch the white bass and the largemouth bass, a 6.5-foot medium action like this Abu Garcia Veritas rod that I used today will work just fine to jig the spoons for the white bass and also to throw that biffle bug or a crankbait for the largemouth bass. Hey, it's a great fishery here at Fort Gibson for several different species. As you saw today, we had the Grand Slam. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see it next week. From northeastern Oklahoma, until then, I'm Barry Stokes saying be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.